realize why.
You show what a bad football team and a bad organization can do. It's just a terrible look when you got rookies starting all around the NFL and looking like they can hold their own, and you invested the number 1 overall pick in the entire draft on a dude who doesn't even suit up so far. And I heard someone bring up the point earlier, and I think they're absolutely right. If you mean to tell me Jared Goff's not ready, but you're saying Case Keenum is ready to start, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's a complete fail. It's a complete and total it's a failure of their scouting system. You know, neither one of us liked Jared Goff coming into that draft. I know he was successful at Cal, but college success doesn't mean jack shit. It doesn't mean a thing. It's going to point you in a direction, and that's about it. I see
the way they play defense in the Pac-12 too. Just saying.
It's a huge.
You know what? Do you think it might have been maybe just maybe?
Get a hometown kid.
Because Aaron Rodgers went to Cal. I mean, did you think there's maybe something in that way they looked at it? They're like, okay, yeah, another kid coming out of Cal, maybe the same type of system that Aaron Rodgers played in college. Maybe.
You know,
I mean, is that crazy to think?
Yeah, you know, it is, but it isn't. I don't think that's the case. But I can tell you that somewhere along the line, once upon a time, some people walked into Al Davis's office and told him X about Jamarcus Russell, and Al Davis said, I want him anyway. And there's a part of me that I just want to understand the process better about why you take a Jared Goff right there. When Carson Wentz walked in and seemingly, look, he beat up on the Cleveland Browns, but he beat him up, and he beat him, and he made his throws. They put him in a position to be successful. Doug Peterson, it helps when you have a quarterback as your head coach. It really does. See Trevor Siemian. Look around. It helps when there's a quarterback involved in your growth. But to watch...
Yeah, that's a good point.
To watch Jared Goff not even see the field, not even put pads on, he's not even a backup. It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And I had hoped more for the kid because I do think he probably potentially has all the athletic ability in the world. But
and give the city of L.A. You're in L.A. now. You're in the forefront of everything. You're not in St. Louis. It's different. You're in L.A. where give it about 4 or 5 weeks in the season and you are god awful. That people will stop going to your games. It's L.A. Okay. They got better things to do.
There'll be an echo in the Coliseum, and it'll be a prominent one. It's sad. I did want to jump into some headlines. We do have a lot to talk about tonight. A couple real quick headlines. As fresh as it gets, the Saints cut C.J. Spiller about an hour ago.
I wish I could have done it. I wish I could have done it for him after the season he had last year.
Yeah, because he handed you your ass last year. How early did you take him? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It's been so long, and frankly, it's one of the many memories of my life that I've tried to forget. Alcohol helps,
let it go.
Yeah, just let it go. Put it in the past. Get over it. I don't remember. Frankly, at this point, I don't care. It's a part of my past. C.J. Spiller is gone from my life.
Yeah, but he's gone from Sean Payton and Drew Brees' life as well.
Yeah, don't blame him. I mean, congratulations. It only took you about a year to realize this guy just can't play. He had one good year in Buffalo, and that was that.
That was it, is right. Other news, Keenan Allen out for the season, torn right ACL. Sad. I feel bad for the kid. He was having a really nice game prior to that. He's a big part of Phillip Rivers' offense. If you have Phillip Rivers on your team, I can tell you right now there is no sense in starting him going forward. No sense. No sense. Antonio Gates is old. Travis Benjamin cannot carry an offense on his own as a number one wide receiver. Keenan Allen is a special talent. Unfortunately, I think the kid, that's the third time that he's had some major leg problems. And this was a non-contact play as well. I think that
he's another guy I had on my team last year, but also suffered a season-ending injury.
Yeah, that's bad. 2 more injury updates. One, RG3 is made of eggshells. I don't know why. I don't know why he bothers to take a hit. He crumbles upon it. So RG3 he's on IR 8 weeks. That'll probably translate to who cares 8 weeks from now when they're 0-8. He might as well fake a migraine and stay out of the sack. And then Vernon Davis, he just sucks. Yeah, I watched him last night. He's just, that guy's a terrible football player. He is not instinctual at all. He's an awful football player. I was embarrassed for him when he caught the ball the other night. I thought he was going to turn around and run backwards. And to get back to that game right quick, if anybody out there was listening to the Line Sports Talk podcast, come back Brent, when we first started the first fantasy show and the number one overall pick discussion came up, and if you listened and you heard, I stressed the point, do not take Todd Gurley number one overall. I know we're only one game into the season, but I'm going to stroke myself a little bit. Last night was an example of why I would be scared to death to take Todd Gurley number one overall. That team sucks. Bad players, bad teams. Bad teams don't score points. You don't want bad players on bad teams. Good players on bad teams.
It looks like the L.A. Rams and the Cleveland Browns are going to be in a dogfight this year to see who gets that number one pick again next year. It looks to be that way.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's the battle for what did you call it earlier?
It's the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes right there.
Yeah,
is what's going on. If you're Deshaun Watson, you are sitting somewhere down in Clemson, South Carolina, watching all this unfold and say, shit, I might want to start playing bad.
Yeah, no.
That or maybe take one more year in college because he does not want to. I don't think he wants to end up in Cleveland. I just without you just especially watching that game, how terrible that offensive line is that they have. That is a line that will ruin a kid.
With the first pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select. It ain't good. But the Rams will probably put a little something together, but these two teams are going to battle for the 1-15, 2-14 spot. There was a bad welcome back to California last night for the Rams. It was real bad. Gurley, now, if we can jump into, and I don't mean to rush you along, Joe, but time does press up against us a little bit here tonight. Predictions last week. I had an upset special that I loved, and it did cover, but I really wanted the outright side of that, and that was Jacksonville plus the 5.5 to beat Green Bay. Look, it was a good call. We took some heat on the comment board. We took some heat on Twitter. I took some heat in public. But I still think it was a good call. It covered. Jacksonville gets what they got down to the 30-yard line, 25-yard line. They had an opportunity to take the lead with under a minute left in that game.
We said before that Jacksonville was going to be a much improved team this year, and I don't think that's far off. I think Green Bay is one of the better teams in the NFC. So, and I like Blake Bortles. I think the guy's just fine.
He's going to be fine. And look, it's important to note that if you go on the road in the NFL and win, you're probably a pretty good football team. That's not easy to do. Depending on your opponent, it's not easy to do to go on the road and win. I'm going to give a hats off.
It's definitely not easy to do. But Aaron Rodgers, there's always a point in time, even if I'm watching my beloved choke artist pieces of shit that are my New York Jets. I'll get into them in a minute, but
piece of shit.
It's always something when I know Aaron Rodgers on the television. Doesn't matter which game I have interest in. I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna watch A-Rod sling it for at least a series.
Yeah,
that guy.
I enjoy it myself.
He's just you really have to take in this guy while he's here because it's a treat to watch.
Good stuff. Andrew Luck looked really good the other day in the second half, particularly. But Detroit, Indianapolis was one of the games that I thought would be a big disappointment. And in the first half, they came back, but that's a disappointing loss for the Colts. They should.
I did predict a shootout in that game because both the lack of defense in that game, but I just had it backwards. Detroit did pull it out at the end. The Colts are going to have problems. We long suspected this. The Colts got problems. They have no excuse for a defense.
Can't stop anybody on defense. Speaking of a game with no defense, I watched the Raiders Saints on my couch by myself, and the Raiders gave me a pretty awful pair of stinky britches that whole game, man. Defensively, I'm not impressed. New Orleans opening drive, Bruce Irvin gets to Breeze, knocks the ball loose. They recover, and I actually sat there with a little bit of pride, thinking like we're going to play some defense this year. You're going to get off the field in 3 downs. We're going to see the little 3 and out. We're going to see some sacks, some pressure, some turnovers, and then after that, the floodgates just opened up, and that all rested squarely on the shoulders of the newly signed Sean Smith.
Yeah, but that's one thing about the Saints. Most of the time, you're beating that team in a track meet. There's not been too many teams I've seen go into that dome and hold and really shut and putting a hurt on Drew Brees in that offense.
No, you don't see it often. So good game there. Nice for the Raiders to go on the road and win, albeit by 1 point. Jack Del Rio in the 2-point conversion scared the hell out of me.
You want to talk about boulders between your legs? How about Mr. Jack? Yeah, but I think you could also read into the fact that he was scared of an overtime where he think Drew Brees might get the ball.
That's ultimately what I think it was. Is if they give the ball to Drew Brees and play for overtime, they haven't stopped him since the first series of downs in the first quarter. They're not going to stop them again. They're not. They had gotten off the field a couple times there in the fourth quarter. I apologize, but that I think that the chances were you better just win it now. And it was pointed out to me the other day, too, that I think the old adage was go for the win on the road and the tie at home. And it makes sense. It does. You've heard that before. I've heard that before, and it does make sense. I will tell you, as we're just kind of mowing through some of these games, don't panic about your Jets.
I'm not panicking. I think they will be more than competitive this year. I like what I saw. They hung with a very good football team. I'm fine with that. But here's my issue with them, and it's been this issue for a long time. Finish. You have them. Close it out. They have never. It's just the same shit every year with them. They know they'll get to that point. They'll be winning. They'll be dominating. And they dominated really. If you watch that game, they dominated like every statistical category, every face of that game. Other than the Bengals got some big plays here and there, but they have to learn to close games.
Every part of that game I watched, I was really, really impressed.
It was a good competitive game.
Came
down to the wire. It was a great game. The Bengals are a very good team. I'm not panicking. I think the Jets can be very competitive this year. I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick is the guy that's going to take them anywhere special, but I think they'll be competitive. I don't think they're going to be bad. I mean, I'm definitely gonna tune in. It's not one of those years where I'm gonna be like, okay, by week 5, am I even gonna want to still watch them? No,
you'll be fine. I think the good news for you too is that despite how Miami looked in Seattle looked very sloppy. Miami's offense is no good. Defensively, they're maybe a little bit better up front.
No, and I don't pay no mind to the Buffalo Bills either.
And you shouldn't, because they're not a good football.
No, Rex has no idea how to get an offense do anything on the other side of the football.
That's right. So I think all things being what they are, the Jets have a very good opportunity of pulling a wild card out of the AFC East. So no panic. I will tell the Cincinnati Bengals are a pretty good football team. Again, that's a nice roster, head to toe. It's a nice roster. They have a very good head coach. We had a really nice discussion about this last year about why Marvin Lewis should keep that job again and again and again, because he's consistently in the mix. It's very tough to do in the NFL. He's a good head coach. Andy Dalton, look, I guess you can throw the ball up in the air and let A.J. Green go get it quite a bit, but Andy Dalton's without some weapons. I had mentioned one of my sleeper picks, Mohamed Sanu in Atlanta. They miss him a little bit on the other side of the ball.
Marvin Jones either, and Tyler Eifert's still hurt.
Marvin Jones has had a decent day in Detroit. So Andy Dalton's a good quarterback. That team's going to win some football games. They're another one who's going to battle for a wild card, which is going to scare me in the AFC West for the Raiders. That's going to be a tough division to pull.
No, they're going to, Andy Dalton has the tools. The guy's got I mean, he's not called the Red Rifle for no means. I mean, the guy has a serious arm. But
he does. He really does.
A.J. Green is special, and this kind of pains me to say, but hey, it is what it is. Darrelle Revis is not the Darrelle Revis that I used to watch anymore. He's just not.
Revis Island is now a tropical all-inclusive resort.
Yeah, people. Right. No. I mean, people get to him now, and A.J. Green had a career day against them.
Yeah, so, he's carrying their bags to the hotel room. It's not the same guy, and it's sad to see because he was so dominant for years. But all done. Kind of wraps up the game talk. As many as there was a lot of good stuff that went on. Next week we're going to do something here, and maybe even tomorrow night we're going to jump into what we see coming up for week 2. We actually weren't terrible. I know my upset picks of the Browns getting their single win of the season over Philadelphia was way the hell off. Jacksonville was nice and close and actually did cover. In Tennessee, you and I both agreed on Tennessee having the potential to beat the Minnesota Vikings, but that Vikings defense is pretty damn good.
It's pretty good, but if Tennessee wanted to show me that they're going to make strides and improve this year, that would be a game I'd like to see them pull off at home with Sean Hill at quarterback.
I thought so.
Well, but nonetheless, congratulations to the Purple.
Yeah, screw them.
Yeah. So
moving on.
This is the game that really got me. I thought Kansas City at home, a touchdown favorite over the Chargers, who I just think was going to be garbage this year, and I expected more of the Chiefs. I was really shocked to see the way the Chiefs defense gave us one because I thought that was one of the better, more